Is a recession coming? The White House says, don't worry about it. The CDC says e-cigarettes are egregious. What do Newt Gingrich, a Michael Jackson publicist, and Buzz Aldrin have in common? They want to send us to the moon, Alice. I'm Jamal Simmons. This is why you should care. If you've been watching the news lately, you know there are signs pointing to an economic downturn. The stock market went on a wild ride last week. There's this thing called the yield curve in the bond markets, which inverted. I suggest you look it up if you want to know more, but by most accounts, that inversion was a bad sign for the economy. And today, 2/3 of a group of business economists are warning a recession is coming. Add to that the fact that 73% in our New Hill Harris X daily poll say they are concerned about a recession in the next year. Dark clouds seem to be on the horizon. The president and his team are trying to tamp down worries of doom and gloom.
I don't think we're having a recession. We're doing tremendously well. Our consumers are rich. I gave a tremendous tax cut, and they're loaded up with money. And most economists actually say, Phil, that we're not going to have a recession.
Yeah, that doesn't quite sync up with the survey that I just mentioned, but what do you expect the president to say? Here's why you should care. The last Republican to be defeated for a second term was George H.W. Bush. The reason? Perceptions about a slowing economy. The president to lose before that? Jimmy Carter. Part of the reason was what was called at the time economic malaise. So politicians get spooked by the economy, and this might be even worse for Donald Trump. Since President Obama turned the economy around after the Great Recession, employers have been adding jobs at a steady pace. The unemployment rate has fallen to a near 50-year low, and consumers are even more optimistic. President Trump's gotten credit for keeping that going. But if that goes away, the president might not have much of a leg to stand on. In the meantime, his economic advisors have a simple message.
Don't be afraid of optimism, Chuck.
All right, Larry.
There's been a cluster of mysterious lung illnesses popping up across the country this summer, and the CDC says they could be linked to e-cigarettes. Since June, states have reported 94 possible cases of severe lung ailments tied to vaping, mainly among teenagers and young adults. It's happening in states like California, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, and even Wisconsin, where 30 cases have been reported in that state alone. And now health officials are working with those states to find out exactly what's going on. Patients experience coughing, shortness of breath, and fatigue. Some are so short of breath, they need the help of a ventilator. Here's why you should care, other than people just getting sick. Vaping has gone viral. Manufacturers of vapes claim they were created with the intention of curbing tobacco addiction. But there's been a meteoric rise in e-cigarette use, especially among teens. The CDC says in 2018, some 4.9 million high school and middle school students used tobacco within a 30-day time frame. That's an increase from 3.6 million in 2017. That's more than 35% more in 1 year. E-cigarettes were the most popular tobacco product among children and adolescents, and the allure is hard to ignore. It's more discreet and socially acceptable than traditional tobacco products. There's no bad smell or yellow teeth. The leading brand, Juul, said it is monitoring the reports of illnesses and has, quote, robust safety monitoring systems in place. But many accuse Juul of specifically targeting teens. A study from Stanford University found that Juul's early marketing was, quote, patently youth-oriented. The company says that's not true, and that it has taken steps to change its marketing since those early days. Despite the growing health concerns, there are no signs that vaping is slowing down. So this story has got everything. It's got politics, space travel, and Michael Jackson. How do you get all that in one place? Lifelong Republican Newt Gingrich and Michael Jackson's PR guy are among a group of people shooting for the stars with the hope of landing on the moon. And they want to do it at a fraction of the $50 billion NASA plans to spend. According to the plan, first shared with Politico, they would create a battle of the billionaires to compete in a $2 billion contest to design the first lunar base. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and a number of other rich guys have already expressed an interest in funding their own missions to the moon. And it doesn't hurt that President Trump is reportedly skeptical of whether NASA can hit its projections for another expedition to the moon in 2024. And the fact that Gingrich's plan is at least $48 billion cheaper might just send the president over the moon. And why should you care? It's been nearly 47 years since Earthlings visited the moon. Money has been the main sticking point that's kept the US from sending more people back to the Earth's only natural satellite. Listen, China is trying to do this. Climate change is coming. Kids all over the planet look at the stars and they just imagine what might be. It can't all be insider deals and conservative versus liberal talking points. I mean, can't we all just dream about something? Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.